T-Roy's next alleged murder victim was somewhat more mysterious than the others, who were so far all from rival sets near O-Block. This man was a 27-year-old called Stunna, real name Frederick Taylor. Stunna belonged to a gang called TTB, or Train to Blow, which also went by the name Suwoo and FOA, meaning family overall. This set hailed from the so-called low end on the north side of Washington Park near the shores of Lake Michigan, particularly from the public housing projects on Lake Park Avenue between 39th and 40th Street. As a 27-year-old, Stunna was already a Chicago OG who apparently had a long history in the streets, and he had also tried to make it as a rapper, with songs circulating in early 2011 and possibly even earlier, with his crew Street Gang, which included other rappers from TTB and FOA. From his music and social media, it's clear that Stunna had friends and enemies all over Chicago, as he would affiliate with other sets such as Rec City all the way in the west side, whilst also dissing their ops such as Face World and BOC or BOCO, both of whom had their hoods near Rec City. Street Gang was also seemingly dissing O-Block's close affiliate Lamron, as well as Chief Keef and his GBE crew that O-Block at the time was still friendly with. And although far away from O-Block, TTB were also close with many of O-Block's enemies, including 051 Young Money and Jaro City. So they were therefore beefing with O-Block and its affiliates like 600 by association, as seen in tweets by prominent member TTB Nez. And then, around the 9th of June 2013, at around 1 AM, Stunna was in traffic with friends on the busy Dan Ryan Expressway. They were driving southbound on a slip ramp between the 71st and 75th Streets, when somebody would pull up, shooting up their car, hitting Stunna and a woman, whilst missing a third person who could later be seen speaking with the police on the side of the road. Stunna and the woman would be taken to a hospital where he was unfortunately pronounced dead. The following day, the news of Stunna's passing would reach his friends and family. However, that's not all they would post, because already that same day, one of the most well-known members of his set, TTB Nez, would tweet an ominous message, implying that O-Block, aka Wick City, had been behind the hit and promising revenge. Meanwhile, T-Roy was seemingly gone from Twitter for several days following the shooting until he would return on the 13th. Moreover, FBG Dutchie from STL would tweet to T-Roy that day, telling him to bail out next time, implying that T-Roy had been in jail, which might have been related to the shooting of Stunna. Then, in the coming months, other TTB members would repeat a similar message as Nez, this time directly saying that it was O-Block that had killed Stunna, as well as dissing O-Block's affiliates such as Lamron, 300, and 600. They would also diss and threaten specific O-Block members such as senior member Boss Top by quoting the classic Billionaire Black and FBG Duck O-Block diss song Expose, where Billionaire Black raps he'll catch Boss Top coming out of O-Block. And of course, he would diss T-Roy with tweets referencing his height and saying that his casket will be little, and when they catch him, they're going to burn his face. Therefore, it's not a surprise that many people online have been convinced that it was O-Block that killed Stunna. Particularly, two members have been thought to have been behind the hit, T-Roy and Boss Money, who supposedly had a personal beef with Stunna before his death. However, it was one particular video that got many convinced that it must have been T-Roy, a video that's actually T-Roy's last video ever, where he's seen toting a gun and saying that ops cannot do him like Lil Mark and Stunna.
They would not Stunna me. No, I keep that 33. But this ain't a 33.
Whoever the killer from O-Block may have been, TTB would allegedly respond with strong force, because in 2015, one of the members would tweet saying that after Stunna died, TTB had been up for an entire week trying to avenge his death. Ultimately, even if T-Roy was the killer of Stunna, he would evade his ops for several years, continuing to cause carnage for his enemies and apparently even innocent civilians.